Hello, everyone, and welcome into a brand new season of the Inside the Dam podcast. This is season 2 with the first episode, and we are excited to move forward into some new ventures talking MSU Beaver athletics with athletes and coaches in and around campus. This is a partnership with the Minot State Athletic Department and KMSU TV and Radio, the broadcasting department here on Minot State campus. We'd like to welcome you guys in, tuning in on the live stream through KMSU podcasts. I'm your host, Cole Clementich. I'm going to be joined alongside my partner, Howard Wade here. Kind of a last-minute deal going on, as tonight the original crew from KMSU had some kind of last-minute deals to go through for class, so they were not able to make it. But we're here and we're ready to get things started, so it's going to be a good time. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. And before we get started, we want to give a quick shout-out to Papa John's, as they are the sponsor, the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website and search for any deals they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for supporting the Inside the Dam podcast and the Minot State Broadcasting Department. If you can recall from last time, the podcast, there's a format. We bring in a couple athletes, some coaches on occasion, and we get to talk with them, and they get to tell us their story about how their season is going, how their school year is faring out, and we're right back in it. So welcome in. And again, another 3 fantastic guests from Minot State Athletics. We got a men's cross-country runner. We got a volleyball player, just got done competing in a couple games this past weekend. And then one of the football players had a prime performance this past weekend against the Minnesota State University Mankato Mavericks. But with that being said, our first guest on the show as a member of the men's cross-country team, a sophomore from Williston, North Dakota, Charles Hardcastle joins us. Charlie, thank you for being here today.
How's it going, guys? Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Charlie. So, just kind of give us the deets about, how's your season going so far? And obviously I got to see you at the Dragon Twilight down in Moorhead, taking pictures and interviewing you. That was a fun event. But before we get into that later, just kind of walk us through your season, your school year. How's everything going for you?
For sure. Things are going good so far. We started off in Augustana, the Augustana Twilight meet that they host down in Sioux Falls. And then our second meet was Moorhead. Those are the 2 races we've ran so far, the Dragon Twilight being the second one. But both went really well. Augustana, season opener, you shake the rust off. You get that first race in. It's a 4-miler. It's at night, but it was still pretty hot and muggy when we ran it. But it's a huge meet, big meet. Lots of teams there from around the region, down in Nebraska, Minnesota, both Dakotas. You get a lot of different teams there, D1, D2, D3, NAIA. So it was a big race, close to 300 runners for the men's and women's races. So like when that gun goes off, the ground's rumbling, cross-country season's finally started back up. So that was a super exciting race. We performed well and the rust off, like I said. Good opener, ran well, placed well. Couldn't ask for much more, And the second one, Dragon Twilight, you were there. We were glad to have you there. That was fun. That was a good race. We were without our normal top runner, Jacob Jensen, still placed well, took second at the meet against the MSU Dragons, and Moorhead, they're very good this year, very good team. We respect them. We know they're going to be tough, but, we're excited to keep racing them, keep competing with them, and I had a good performance. We had a good performance there as a team, and men and women both took second, so great start to the season. You couldn't ask for much more so far, and school year's been good grades so far, hopefully. Haven't got all my grades quite in yet, it's still a little early, but things have been good. I'm in a good rhythm right now.
Absolutely. That is good so far. And you guys definitely ran hard at that Moorhead meet. And I'll just get this out quickly. And let me tell you guys, for those of you watching, cross country, it's no joke. I almost got caught in the crossfire of some projectile vomit. And that was kind of my fault. getting through or standing next to garbage cans. So I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Charlie, so competing in the Midwest region for, like you mentioned, the Augustana meet, the first meet of the season, just kind of compare, like, what are some of the different tracks like? Obviously, each one is different. Just kind of, how do you guys study these? How do you prepare for a race usually?
For sure. It's tricky. It depends on if you've been here a year before. Me, I have a lot of, I'm helped a lot by last year. Last year was all fresh to me. It was brand new. I'd never ran on any of these courses except for a few that I had ran in high school. We run on some courses here in the state of North Dakota that are some high school courses as well. So if you're a local to here in North Dakota as a cross-country runner, you're probably familiar with some of them. But for the most part, a lot of these courses are new, and it's really hard to prepare for most courses, especially cross-country wise, because when you go into the cross-country season, you're not really thinking of running fast times. Cross-country is mostly about placing well and beating people. The heart of cross-country is in competition, because it's hard to plan what you're going to run through the first mile, or how you're going to when you're going to make your kick, when you're going to accelerate. Like, you can make those plans on a track because you know how a track's going to be always. But in cross-country season, you get different courses, you get different setups. But the Twilight meet I had ran last year, so I knew going into it what to expect. But for example, when it was my first time running it, I knew it was flat. I was told it's flat. A lot of turns, but so that's one that you don't really have to game plan for a ton. But going into the Dragon meet, the Twilight Dragon meet, was a little different because this year they changed the course from how it was last year. So I was running on this one for the first time ever. Same with everyone else. They hosted it on their campus actually, which was really interesting. And that was an interesting setup. A lot of turns. Some of the ground was a little shaky, a little loose dirt in there. You crossed over a road once or twice, so you got some pavement thrown in there. And then a straightaway of the course was actually on their outdoor track, so that was interesting. So that was a weird race, and that was one that, again, it's going to be flat, so you don't really game plan for that, but you go into it knowing, like, hey, looking at the course map that they sent out, it might be a little shaky at times, it might be a little hard to keep footing. But going into our next course, so we're dividing things up, going to Arkansas, our top 7.
That'll be a big one.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge one, and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that here in a bit. But going into that, we got a big one in Arkansas, the Chili Pepper Festival, and none of us have ran on that course. So we're going into this a little blind. We'll probably look at a lot of videos from previous years, try to take a look at the course. We'll look at times from previous years, see if it's a fast course, a slow, challenging course. It's hard to plan for these courses that are coming up that none of us have ran at, none of us on our team have experience with. So those ones are tricky to game plan for, and you just look around on the internet and see what you can find about it. But the rest of our team's going to Bismarck over at McDowell Dam. The UMary's hosting a meet there, and that's one of those courses that is also hosted for high school cross country. So a lot of runners that we have on our team are from North Dakota. They ran cross country in North Dakota, so they're familiar with that course. They know what's going on there.
That's good.
So that's one that you're a little less worried about game planning for that course. Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, all great input here from Charlie Hardcastle, sophomore from Williston, North Dakota, on the men's cross country team. Charlie, like you said, coming up here at a big meet down in Arkansas, I guess the beauty of this sport is that you don't just compete against conference teams. Like, these are all from around the region. I saw you guys faced off with Bismarck State, Concordia even. I'm trying to remember some of the other schools that were at the Dragon Twilight. But what challenge, or I guess what kind of input do you guys get from that, and how much does it help competing against other schools that are not within the NSIC, the Northern Sun Conference?
For sure. And it's great to switch things up. In cross country, it's really fun and exciting to take a look at who's entered into the upcoming meets, like this Chili Pepper one. Almost no one. I think we're the only team from our conference going to that. So we're going to be racing people that, for the most part, we're unfamiliar with. A lot of them are from our region, and we've raced quite a few of these teams in our regional championship meet from last year. But this is going to be pretty unfamiliar for a lot of us. A lot of the competition is teams that we haven't faced off against. There's going to be some big D1 teams there, some like really elite level D1 teams running at this, high level D2 teams. So this is going to be we know it's for sure going to be a super fast competitive meet no matter what. And that's all you really can plan for, all you just go into it, hey, there's going to be some freaks out there. They're going to run fast, and we got to just do what we can to keep up with them, And then, but it's one thing I was going to mention. So when it comes to racing against competition not from our conference, one thing that a lot of people don't know, but to get a bid to nationals, you can either qualify for nationals as a team out of your region by placing high enough in your region, obviously. That gets you an automatic qualifying bid. But another way you can qualify for the national competition is getting a wild card bid, which through that, if you say we race a team like, I can't think, let's just say we race a team from Arizona, not in our region, they're very good. We beat them at this chili pepper race down in Arkansas. Let's say we beat them. We come out on top against a very good team from outside of our region. They go on to their regional meet, and then say they win it, and they get a bid to nationals. We would then get a bid to nationals likely based off of the wild card rules that the NCAA has. So they look at teams that have beaten high-level teams from outside of their region, and if they think that they stack up good enough, having beaten a good team in a different meet outside of their region, then they would probably give them a nod to nationals. So this big meet is a good chance for us to face off against competition that we wouldn't face in our region, and if we compete good enough against them, we can get a bid to nationals from it.
This is a great learning tool, not just for myself, but for the audience as well, getting to know a little bit about the sport. And Charlie, as promised, we'll get into this next beat here, kind of talk a little bit of the expectations for yourself, for the squad. What are you most looking forward to, especially with this being one of the meat of, or the beasts of the schedule, the meat of the schedule here?
For sure, yeah. Just kind of what are we looking at as a team, and for myself, the rest of the season, or for the Arkansas?
For this race, or for even for the rest of the season.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Going into Arkansas, like I said, we're just trying to place as high as we can. We know the competition's going to be pretty fierce, and like I said, we place well enough. If we beat the right teams, that could be our ticket to nationals if we get lucky, And there is a little bit of chance in there with this. People could have off days. Some teams could have bad days. We get them on their bad days, and then they go to nationals on a good day. Boom, we get a shot to nationals, so that's what we're thinking going into this. Like, we know that there is a potential chance at a national bid out of this meet, so we got to be on our A game for this, Me personally, I'm looking at running a huge PR at this course. I know it's fast. I know fast people race it, so personally, I'm looking at it's an 8K distance, and so last year my PR from that, I believe, was a 26:09, might be 26:07, but it's low 26s. I'm looking at running about a minute faster than that, low 25s. That's what I'm looking at on this course. So I'm looking to run pretty freaky fast compared to how I have in the past, And I know the rest of our team is Jacob Jensen, our top guy. He's a legend by all standards here at Minot State, and I know he's never broken that 25-minute barrier in an 8K yet. I'm almost positive that you can bet on him doing that this meet. He'll run fast. He'll run fast with the guys around him. He'll go out hard, and he'll hold his own. And then the guys behind us, we got a great pack right behind me and Jacob, the top two guys. We got a good pack of like 3 or 4 guys, Camden Jasmine, Gabe Blummer, or Grayson Bonilla. Other guys, Casey McMahon, Yoni Neistand. We got good guys back there ready to kind of get pulled along by me and Jacob, run fast times, run PRs. We're all looking to PR at this meet for sure.
No, that'll be big time for certain. And you finished top 5 at the Dragon Twilight last time. And so, yeah, looking for big performance. And we wish you all the best in that. Last question here, Charlie, before we send you off here. Just kind of talk your major, talk classroom life, and what are you taking up at this time, outside of the cross-country circles, and what do you hope to accomplish here on campus?
For sure, yeah. So I'm a double major here at MSU, International Business and Marketing. Like I said, class has been going well so far, and I'm looking at just, keeping my grades high. I want to keep getting on that presidential honor roll. I got that both semesters last year. I want to keep that going. The NSIC Awards, Academic All-Conference. I'm looking at, academic All-American standards as well. I hold myself to a high standard in the classroom, of course. So I want to get some awards, stuff that I could put on a resume, and show, hey, I don't just work hard on the cross-country course, I work hard in the classroom too. And stuff that, help me get a job in the future, and stuff that I can, show people that I'm not I'm not quite as dumb as I look, Yeah.
Yeah, definitely stuff that will make the resume pop for sure. And Charlie, thank you for being on the show today. Anything else you'd like to mention to the crowd? Anything you want to get out there before we let you go?
Hey, yeah, just don't go sleeping on us, man. We're hungry this year. We got a young team. We're excited. I know I'm excited, and I'm ready to run fast, and I hope you guys are ready to watch it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, cross country is no joke, guys. So, but with that being said, Charlie, thank you for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today, sharing your story a little bit and giving us some insight on this season.
Anytime, man. I appreciate being here. This feels fancy.
Yes.
Feels official. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. And again, that was Charles Hardcastle of the men's cross country team, also a native of Williston, North Dakota. He had a career best time in the 6K at the Dragon Twilight back on Friday, September 8th. And again, finishing top 5 in that regard. So with that being said, folks, we're going to kick it to a break. But before we do that, we just want to mention again Papa John's as the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot, and they can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We will be right back after this quick break. You will see either Emily Kotelnikov from volleyball or Evan Lovett from football. We'll be back after this.
And we're back here on the Inside the Dam podcast. I'm Howard Wade, back with another guest. Before we get into that guest, though, let me remind us all about our Papa John's sponsor. We're so appreciative of them sponsoring this podcast. You can hit them up on their website and search for any deals they may have going on. You can search Papa John's Minot. We have 2 locations. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA. And you can place an order over the phone. But now with me is Emily Kotelnikov. Emily, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And Emily is a junior here on the volleyball team. She's from Saskatchewan, and we're going to try and learn as much as we can for Emily for the amount of time that we have. So what's your major, first off? Let's start away from the volleyball right quick. I can see you have your volleyball gear on, and I'm almost sure a large part of your life here as a collegiate athlete is surrounded with volleyball. So let's find out, what do you do outside of volleyball in the classroom here at MSU? What's your major?
I'm in nursing right now.
Nursing right now. Okay, so I'm sure there's clinicals coming along with that. How's that going?
They're going great. I'm in my final year, so we're going into a lot more clinicals. It's more clinical hours than classroom at this point. So this semester we're doing ICU, emergency room, and stuff like that. So.
All right, ICU. That sounds like some serious stuff, Emily. I remember I broke my ankle in 2017, and I kind of feel bad. I was not the greatest patient with my nurses. I gave them a hard time in the hospital. It's not great. So how do you handle those not so great to deal with patients when it's time for you to do your job?
I'm very patient. I've kind of learned that throughout the years, but just always speaking calmly to them, taking my time and just knowing, not taking anything personally, I guess, any comments and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure you get your fair share of comments, and we appreciate you on behalf of those that have been in and around healthcare and those that at some point in life we all will need your services. We do appreciate you and wish you nothing but the best in your future. Do you have some sort of outlook right now? I know it's probably kind of early, which hospital you want to work in. Do you try to be a travel nurse? Anything of that sort toward the future?
I definitely think that I'm going to be going back to Canada to work after school. So I'm not really sure what hospital yet, but I'm really interested in maternal newborn and like labor and delivery. So kind of the baby side of things.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those clinicals. So I think that's kind of what I'm looking into. And I have looked into travel nursing, but probably a little bit more down the road after I graduate. So
okay, good. You'll be helping deliver the little newborns.
Yes.
That'll be so amazing, so amazing. Okay, so that's the classroom. What about your social life, if I can say social life? Outside of classroom, outside of volleyball, you did say you're from Canada. I know there must be some sort of similarities just across the border here in Minot for what you can do, what you can eat, who you can hang with. We do have a good amount of Canadians here at the school. Tell us a little about your social life.
So I love hanging out with my friends on weekends when I have free weekends away from volleyball and studying.
Of course.
I hang out with my roommates and stuff like that. We love going out to eat. There are a few places here that obviously we don't have in Canada, so I love going to those ones and things I don't get to try very often, so that's always fun.
Is there anything you miss in Canada that you can't really enjoy here in Minot?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons?
Hands down.
What is or who is Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons, it's like a coffee like donut shop. It's a lot like, I guess, like you guys have like Dunkin' Donuts or like Starbucks here in the States. It's kind of like that. But yeah, that's kind of like the go-to place.
You miss your Tim
Canada.
Hortons.
Yeah.
Okay, you miss your
Every time I get over the border, I go straight to Tim Hortons.
Straight to Tim Hortons. I understand. I'm from the Bahamas, so I truly understand. There's always just one thing that you're so used to, you can't appreciate all the time. So you miss your Tim Hortons. That's cool.
We did.
Really?
Yeah, on my visit actually to the school, there was a Tim Hortons, but
Where?
then it shut down right before I got here.
North of town.
Up north?
Yeah, up northern side.
Wow, they must have got word you were coming and said, hey, we don't need her getting all the Tim Hortons.
I was so disappointed.
Maybe, just maybe, Tim Hortons makes a return before you leave the good old Magic City. Maybe. I don't know.
Can hope.
I don't know. Yeah, one can dream. One can always dream. Now, this past weekend, you registered your 200th kill. Not sure if you knew that or not, but that was like an accomplishment for you. You also led the team in, I want to say, Friday's game in kills, 6 kills. So you're an outside hitter. Can you tell us a little bit of what goes into, like, we'll start with your pregame, like preparing for every game as an outside hitter. Is there film that you tend to study a lot? Is there mechanics that you tend to work on by yourself and with other outside hitters? Tell us about that stuff.
Yeah, so I guess like a pregame like ritual. The night before, I always kind of watch a little bit of film on the team that we're going to be playing, just so I can kind of look at what their tendencies are and like different shots that I can use to be successful against them. So that's huge for me. And coach kind of talks about that throughout the week as well. So, but seeing it for myself is kind of nice right before the game. The day of, I mean, I always have like my pregame playlist that I have to play.
Pregame playlist. Okay,
yeah.
let me get one pregame song that our audience can hear. Let me get one.
Oh no.
Copyright.
Yeah, we okay. For copyright purposes, I probably won't play. But at least let me.
I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. I'll say that.
T Swift,
Yeah,
T
that's a
Swift.
big-
Okay, T
big one
Swift,
for me.
respectable. T Swift. All right, that's pretty routine for a lot of athletes. You know, getting your mind in gear. You have the mental game. That mental is so important before you get to the physical aspect. So it's good to know that you're taking care of your entire self before these games. That's exciting to see. And I actually call you guys' games on the sideline, so I get to see it all.
Yeah.
I probably say your last name more than your first name, but I get to see it all. So from what I've seen, you at the outside hitting spot, you're comfortable there. Do you prefer left side, right side? Is there anything that I can say, if I can say natural, that's, now that you've played volleyball for some time, is there anything that comes much more natural to you now at this point than when you first started, when you came here at Minot?
Yeah, so I guess like growing up through high school and club seasons, I was mainly a right side before I got here, and then I got here and they kind of need me on the outside, so I transferred over to that position. I still play a little bit of both every now and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right side does come a little more naturally to me, but I've kind of embraced the outside role, I guess, as well. So.
Oh, embrace it. Loud and proud. Embrace the outside spot. I enjoy making the calls. I enjoy when you guys get the rallies going, and the effort is just always there. Now, looking forward to the next few weeks and your remaining tenure here at Minot State, would you say there are any goals or aspirations you're looking to achieve before you leave the Magic City?
I think with volleyball especially, just being competitive this year, I think that we have the chance to, improve our record from the previous years. And I just want to take full opportunity of that and really end strong, I guess.
Oh, you will end strong. I'm sure that you and the team will end strong. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us on this Inside the Dam podcast. We will take a quick break, folks, but when we come back, we will have Evan Lovett, the running back here at Minot State University. He's been putting in some pretty good production on the gridiron, and Cole will be back to sit down and discuss a lot of football and everything there is to know with Mr. Lovett when we come back. And thanks to Papa John's as well for being our sponsor. I am Howard Wade Jr. signing off.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, great show so far. We got to hear from Charles Hardcastle from the cross-country team and Emily Kotelnikov, her story and her background here on Minot State and with the volleyball team. And big thanks to my partner, Howard Wade, also for stepping in. Before we get started on our last segment, I want to remind you guys, a premier sponsor, Papa John's, sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. Be sure to hit them up on their website and search for any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for supporting the Inside the Dam podcast and the Minot State Broadcasting Department. With our final guest today, he ran like crazy on the gridiron this past weekend against Mankato, over 100 yards rushing and a combined 274-yard rushing attack on the day for the Beavers against the Mavericks. Evan Lovett, running back, joins us. Evan, good to have you on here. How you been?
Pretty good. Good to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, Evan, just kind of, talk about what we'll get into the new coaching staff in a little bit here, but talk about how you feel your season's going so far. Certainly a nice bright spot on the team, certainly, but how have you been feeling and how are things been rolling for you lately?
I'd say I've been feeling pretty good, mentally, physically. Yeah, it's just been a good growth just from like the past 3 years I've been here. It's just been a good experience.
That is good, and we are happy to have you on board here. So talk a little bit about the transition in the off season. So you now taking the role of starter. What was that like for you? What was that was it more of a shock, or what was the kind of the reaction to that for you?
Let's see. I feel like it was more of like, oh, you just gotta step into some new boots, like saddle up, get on the horse, get the reins right, and just go and learn how to be a leader and stuff like that. So it's still a work in progress, but it's been an interesting ride.
And you've had yourself a nice season so far, and under a brand new coaching staff, kind of talk about what has Coach Shields taught you, what has your position group been learning in and out through the ropes of either practice or at games, and just kind of let us know what have you been taking in from these guys so far.
So what I've been taking in is that like majority of us are having to lock in and see what we really want in success, and lock in and how we gotta like grow in a team as a team, and like I feel like it's just been a good experience to see just where it's gonna go, and we have to have faith. Our key terms are the ball, the team, and our faith in how we're gonna see how we're gonna how you say progress or keep going, keep moving.
Yeah, growth as a team for sure. Yeah, and you guys have been scoring points lately. Mankato, not an easy task to face off with, but you guys put up some points against them. Obviously a tough loss, but how have you guys, you and your position group in particular, how have you guys approached kind of this new playbook, this new offensive scheme, this triple option scheme that Coach Shields likes to install?
I'd say as a whole, it's just been grinding. We got to grind and got to get our assignments right, and it's just been a big learning curve for all of us from where we've came from. So, but it's been working pretty well, and we can see the progression and productivity coming out of it.
So you and Miles West have been combining for a lot of the rushing yards, especially this last game against Mankato. And, just how do you guys, work together and like be able to, just kind of pump each other up a little bit? And is it kind of like obviously you're the starter, but, are there moments where, you guys get into a rushing by committee, or just how do you guys keep each other fresh? Obviously, how do you guys, kind of keep each other, help each other out to improve each day?
Majority of the time, he could say the same thing if he was here. We just look at each other like, "You good? I'm good if you good," type stuff, like Jameis Winston, and we just have to level each other out and just like stay even keel instead of like rising to the tension, and just being like ice cold veins, I guess you could say. So that's what I would say is just we just have to stay positive with each other, and that I think it's a pretty good blend with both of us.
That is awesome indeed. So, moving on here for the rest of the season here, what do you guys, for yourself and as a team, what do you guys hope to accomplish? What are some expectations or some goals that you want to achieve? Obviously, you guys are scoring a lot more than last year. Just kind of walk us through, what do you guys want to achieve rather in this season?
We obviously want to win, but I believe that we just want to get 1% better. Like, just see the growth. Like I don't think anyone's really too mad, but it's more of like we're in here for the long run, and we want to see how we can be like successful or start a new like legacy. We're the 98th team, and we want to see how it'll be at the 100 mark. So I feel like it's just working on that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Almost to 100 teams in campus history. And so moving away from the gridiron, we hear that you are an art major and you've got a lot of great pieces. Just kind of share with us, some of your best projects and how has that been going for you? Obviously, a nice little hobby that, have a passion for. So what are some things that you like to work on, draw on, and tell us a little bit about your projects.
I like to do a lot of surrealist art, sports art, like stuff that just like you see when you're a kid, but you want to see like just, I guess, like painted on or just projected, I guess, like just whatever's in the mind, just pull it out, yeah. So what I've gotten some done, like where I made one goofily, Walter Payton on a unicorn. That was pretty funny.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And then I draw some of my teammates and stuff like that. Like I'm currently working on something where I have this concept of like a I guess like superhero football player or whatever. Like I do want to make a comic someday, but like it's in the works, stuff like that.
In the works. We'll have to be on the lookout for that for sure, and hopefully, it'll turn out nicely. Wish you the best on that. And what are some classes like for you, and what have you taken away from that in your, I guess, your work in art?
Mm-hmm. It's honestly the same when it comes to football. It's like you try something new, the professor or coach might be like, "Hey, try to hone it in a little bit. Try to like bring in the skills, the techniques that we try to teach you." And then that helps with building the style that you have on the field or off the field, like in your art. And that's what I see is like, it's just fun. It's just always a good learning process.
We're talking with junior running back Evan Lovett, native of Tucson, Arizona, and also an art major. Evan, just talk quickly, how or what are some expectations that you have for yourself? What do you hope to achieve both on campus, on the football field, and maybe what would you like to experience someday here on campus while you're here?
That's a good question. Let's see. I honestly just want to enjoy the experience and see it, like, because I'm far from home, so I'm just like, I want to be able to tell my family, kids in the future, like
different climate too.
Yeah, I was in the cold. I've been in 3 blizzards, stuff like that. Like just the story you can tell and just a legacy you can bring, I guess, with your name.
Absolutely. And Evan, before we let you go here, what are your thoughts on the state of college football and the NFL too? Do you follow any teams? Do you have any hot takes maybe? What do you like to follow in the football ranks at the professional and college level?
I like to watch. I honestly just watch highlights of the NFL, but I watch mainly college football. I have friends that are in the league, and it's cool to watch them play because like
it's awesome.
They broke my ankles, and then and I get to see them break other people's ankles on the field, like Bijan. That's one of our hometown like heroes in Tucson, and he's
It's been
like,
crazy so far. Crazy
Yeah.
couple games for him.
yeah. But then college football, like Sanders, that's a good topic. Everyone likes to talk about that one right now. So like, I want to
Oh,
see how it
baby.
goes. I want to see how it goes with that Pac-12 little ring.
Yeah, it is a wild time in college football right now, especially the Pac-12. But yeah, Evan, just thought it'd be cool to kind of talk a little sports while we're here. Obviously, we're here talking MSU Beavers, but wouldn't hurt to get some input, some thoughts on some interests, some rooting interests in college football and the NFL. But yeah, it's crazy right now, and what a time to be in right now, especially with football season being back. But Evan, before we send you off here, anything else you'd like to mention to the audience? Anything you want to share, promote? What do you got for us?
I would say just keep tuning in, and we're gonna get a win soon. We're gonna get a win.
There you go. And the Beavers will be in Sioux Falls next weekend. And then the home game the week following will be against the Wayne State College Wildcats. I believe a 1 p.m. kickoff on September 30th. But Evan, thank you so much for being on the Inside the Dam podcast today and sharing your story, sharing all kinds of insights. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Folks, you just heard Evan Lovett. That was the junior running back on the MSU football team, native of Tucson, Arizona, and also rushing for his first career 100-yard game against the Mankato Mavericks this past weekend. And also be sure to check out some of his artwork if you are on campus. But that being said, folks, that is it for this first episode of season 2 for the Inside the Dam podcast. It's been a fun ride so far. I'm Cole Clementich. I was joined alongside Howard Wade. Great show today. We were able to have Evan Lovett from football, Emily Kotelnikoff from volleyball, and Charles Hardcastle from the men's cross-country team. Got a lot of great news and insight from all those athletes and sharing their stories as well. And before we head out here, we just want to give one last thanks to Papa John's, as they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Check them out on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Papa John's for sponsoring. Thank you guys for tuning in on the KMSU podcast live stream, and we will be back next week for more. This time, the original KMSU crew should be in to get their first bit of action talking MSU Beaver sports with athletes and or coaches that may appear from time to time. And that is it for us. So you guys have a good rest of your night, and as always, take care.